This is Arts Alive. I'm Lynda Phillippi, and my guest today is Jacquelyn Schroeder, and she is a longtime McMinnville resident who, over the years, has worked in all different kinds of media, and really excited to see what you're up to now, currently, because I know that you've got an exciting new venture.
I do. I have relocated Jacquelyn's Studio Arts into an upper-level loft over the newly relocated Inner Oasis Center for Individual and Spiritual Awakening. That's at 448 Northeast 3rd Street in McMinnville.
Okay.
Big picture window, so you can walk by and see all the wonderful new vendors that we have in there, but there's a lot of artists who are exhibiting in that space in support of the type of events that Inner Oasis presents to the community. And so I'm part of that.
I think that's really exciting. I know, the longtime residents probably would say the old J.C. Penney building.
The old J.C. Penney
But,
building.
it's obviously it's got a new lease on life, because this is really a new direction.
It is.
I think than it's ever been taken before.
Yes, because this is more of an event space. And up to this point, it's been primarily retail. And so it's a combination, of course, but it's kind of retail, actually, that we've been waiting for.
I think, it's actually a big, beautiful space, and the way that it's designed, it's not just a cavern, it's not just a warehouse. It's got a lot of nooks and crannies, but very interesting, open. I think that's got a lot of potential.
Yeah. And really the primary reason that I'm associated with it is not for the retail. I mean, I'm enjoying the fact that there is a retail opportunity there for my artwork, but the work that I do and the methods that I use in that work and the type of instruction and facilitation that I do, both for private instruction, for event type instruction, and for after-school programs throughout the Tri-County area in the elementary schools, is all supported by the type of work that other people who are associated with that center are involved with, and all of the vendors that are there are engaged in that similar process. So we all have something in common by way of process as much or more than as producers of objects to purchase.
Well, I think because it seems to have a very spiritual sort of bent and philosophy that lends a lot of a cohesive feel to what you're doing. One person's not doing one thing and one person's not doing another. Yes, everybody's engaged in something sort of separate, but they all really work together.
Yeah,
very synergistic.
It is, and we're almost a family. I mean, it's almost like.
Minus the dysfunction.
Minus the dysfunction. Yeah, it's like a certain rapport between all of the people. We support each other in all of our efforts. So we're not a collection of individuals gathered in one place, but it's like a collaboration of sorts, a loose collaboration, I would say.
So how did this all sort of come together? Because really, I mean, I know that it didn't just happen out of the blue, but it seems to sort of like have just presented itself in a very nice way. You don't...
The current presentation? Oh. Well, I have been an attendee at a number of events at Inner Oasis over the last year in their previous location down on the east end of 3rd Street. A little bit distant from the core of downtown. And so it really was by word of mouth that most people found, that there were things there that they would be interested in attending. And I don't know much about the earlier history of how this group came together, other than they had been associated in other endeavors.
Okay.
In that same service to the community and bringing opportunities for more spiritual, it's not celebration, it's just investigation and I guess practice.
Okay.
Yeah, very much practice. And so as an attendee at a number of events over the year, we grew closer and good friends, and they asked me to participate as an artist in the Saturday Art and Wine Walk for February. And so the painting actually to your left, or to your right, is the piece that came out of the canvas that I painted on the floor that evening during that 4-hour period of the Art and Wine Walk. That started out as a 4-by-4 foot canvas.
Okay.
And it looks very, very different as a result of the process that I facilitate for people in painting. It looks very different than how it started that evening. So.
And this was a piece that you were doing, like a demonstration piece.
Yes.
Okay.
And just to finish the thought line that we were on is that at the close of that Art and Wine Walk was really the close of their lease in that space, and they had already made arrangements to move to this new location.
Okay.
But the opportunity for me to partner with them in that, and my studio was packed away in storage, basically, as a result of having had to move out of my home and studio spaces in November. So it just all came about, and the energy, it just kind of opened like a flower for me to bring my studio space there, for me to, partner with them in these mindfulness meditation exercises where I'm providing the painting experience, and they're kind of supporting me with a lot of velocity and other exercises that kind of support that.
So do you want to talk a little bit about some of the various things that you do offer, so people will have a more specific sense of what you have available? Okay.
So right now, as a result, as a way of introducing this process of mindfulness painting to the community, I have an open paint parlor on Sunday afternoons from 12:30 to 2:30.
Okay.
So each Sunday right now throughout April and on into May, and however long I would continue this, people can just show up. I have up to 16 places at tables for people to paint. It's about a 20 by 20 inch canvas, maybe 24 inches square.
Okay.
I think it's about 24 inches square canvas, and it's on a tabletop. So it's it's a painting that evolves over a period of up to 2 hours, and then it sits and dries in that fashion. And then there are things that one can do with that afterwards, after it dries. But it's very much a wet, not soupy by any means, but it takes some drying time. So people can't take it with them. They have to come back for it.
So
Right.
for the person who says, oh gosh, I've never painted, and I have no talent, and I have no skill, and I've always wanted to try something like that, but, what would you say?
Perfect for them.
Okay.
I'm very kind, and supportive, and it's really about saying yes to where you are at any moment. And it would be like taking your first yoga class, or going for a swim when you haven't gone for a swim for a while, or taking a walk along a trail. It's an evolving process that it's like placing one foot in front of the other. You put a mark on the canvas and you respond to that with the next mark on the canvas. And I give the person so many fun tools to work with that pretty soon it's really just about it's like this wonderful play. And it's just a playful practice, and it takes no skill whatsoever. I do the same process with 2-year-olds or 98-year-olds.
So it's a matter of sort of, I guess you'd say the sort of emotional or creative expression. It's not, you're not looking for representational art.
No.
And they don't have to have any drawing skill. And it's just
Right.
more about sort of letting whatever's inside come out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And responding to suggestions or music or some meditation type situation.
Yes.
Or, okay.
Like yesterday, I talked with Jill Methvin about it, and,
Okay.
and I said, Jill, you got to come and paint with me. And she says, I'm looking so forward to it. She said, just recently, she said, I spent the entire Sunday afternoon in an activity where I was just completely absorbed and lost in the moment for the entire afternoon. And she said it was just so relaxing and so releasing. And she said it was so restorative. And that's exactly what you come out of it with. Is
just play.
Everything's okay, and it's play. And, if it isn't exactly what you thought it might turn out to be, well, then maybe it was even better than you thought because it took you someplace you'd never been before.
I think the important thing is when you go into something like that, not to have any preconceptions, or just to allow yourself to have the experience without all the self-censoring that oftentimes we do.
It is.
Oh God, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be as good as hers or his.
Yeah.
When in reality, it doesn't have to be because it's yours.
That's true.
And what's better anyway.
And it's about mindfulness. It's about just being present and really paying attention to what's in front of you, like the flavor of food, like the taste of a wine, like the scent of a flower. It's paying attention to the utmost of what's in front of you and not what's in the head. It's not like, oh, well, what's somebody going to think about what I'm doing, or do I have to know where I'm going with this painting? Do I have to know what I want to paint? No, and it doesn't have to be abstract either. You can just start painting your notion of a flower, and if you're really present and paying attention, the next stroke will happen. For example, these pieces I did yesterday, these actually...
Oh, those are fun.
These were very much a couple of strips of canvas that I was cleaning my brushes on so that I didn't throw very much paint away. Okay? That's all they were. Here, let me see
Just
if I can...
wiping it down.
Yeah, so the background of these were really just about cleaning my brushes off and my paint sticks, and so that I didn't fill the water supply in the trash with paint. And then, and that's from the last 2 weeks, I was just cleaning brushes off on these. And then yesterday, I started the day with just seeing what then I could draw out of the little objects that I found around on them. And pretty soon, I found myself, just, these were just, I don't know, corks, wine corks, and I smushed the paint around with it, and then a stick I dragged through it, and pretty soon it's like, okay, well, then I found myself making a mark, to maybe make a flower. Well, pretty soon, the next mark goes, oh, well, that could be like a chrysanthemum maybe, or it's starting to look like one. Well, I don't know how to paint chrysanthemums. I've never painted chrysanthemums.